All right, here we go. Maybe. 3, 2, 1. Go. There it goes.
What's
We're
good?
live.
We're live? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
What are we doing, Jeff?
This is Coffee Before Bed, and we're talking about the gout.
We were talking about the gout. So uric acid. Is it uric or ureic?
I think it's uric,
Okay.
but I could be wrong on this.
I might be wrong, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm willing to accept.
Yeah, I don't eat shellfish or organ meat, though, so... Unless, like, I'm sure there's some in bologna, but I haven't had bologna in a long time. Probably both shellfish and, oh, loud and offensive. Shellfish and organ meat and bologna.
You don't look like you enjoy bologna, I think, but I think you know that it's just not.
It's bad for you.
Yeah, it's not. It's not for people our age. When
No.
when you're at a smaller, indestructible state, bologna will do you no harm.
Right. When you're still growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I mean, short of actually going to the deli and getting bologna, right? Which is different, but it's not what I think of when I think of bologna. And I
No.
know it's not what you think of either.
No, it's not. It doesn't have a little ring on the edge that you have to...
Yeah, the first time that your parents come home with bagged bologna,
Oh, yeah, that's different,
it's
man.
different.
It's like liverwurst, man. So it kind of is.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
It's sort of.
It's a little gooey.
Well, one of those. Look, I'm going to tell you, one of those tastes like we had this many extra hot dogs, so we ran them through the press one more time, and
It's per hot dog.
and we sliced it with some piano wire, and
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
and go ahead and make some sandwiches out of these.
Yeah.
And deli bologna, on the other hand, is
It's gamey.
it is king.
It's gamey. Yeah.
It almost makes you say, like, what fucking animal did this come
I
from?
don't think it has enough plastic in it, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do look on the Oscar Mayer thing, it does say like contains trace amount of Mr. Bubble. And,
Yeah. Toilet brush.
yeah, that's true. Ben Gay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this bologna's got a zing to it.
Yeah, it's got a little zip.
Ah,
It's been a while since I had a bologna sandwich. I got to tell you, man. I think there was like a time, maybe like 2 years ago, when I was working my ass off, just in terms of consecutive days down there, that I didn't feel right going to Burger King every day.
Right.
So I would pick a day to go to Burger King and then actually make sandwiches.
Okay.
And so, like, every now and then I would go through I haven't had bologna in a while, so let me buy a thing of bologna. And then go back to, like, turkey or something. But,
Yeah.
like, like the turkey that you buy, the shaved shit, has just as much, like, junk in it as, like, any, thing of bologna in it. Unless you actually go to the deli and get the deli stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great, but it only lasts for, like, fucking 2 days
Oh, it's got a half-life.
before it turns green,
Well, okay, that's not true. After 2 days, time's running out. So on day 3, you get the slime.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It doesn't change color. Like, you get the slime on day 3, it stinks on day 4, and on day 5, it's going to make you sick.
Yeah, don't put that in your mouth.
No.
Yeah, in fact, don't even put it on your counter. Otherwise, you're going to have to clean your counter.
Yeah, but you're stupid. Every time that you actually go to get deli turkey, they're like, how much do you want? You're like, 6 pounds.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, there was times, I asked for a pound and not realize, holy shit, this is a lot of shaved turkey, man.
Give you a ton of this. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you think that a pound of this is, like, you think that that's not enough,
Right.
right? It's always enough.
Yeah.
It's always enough. And yes, you're always throwing away half the thing of turkey.
Yeah.
Right?
I noticed ham keeps longer.
Well, yeah, ham is.
Yeah, it's salted. So
It's like 50% salt.
yeah, I don't know. So I got off the sandwich kick after that semester was over. I haven't really gotten back on it since then. So
No, that's fine. I still, the nice thing is over at the Safeway, they do just pre-cut some and put them in bags near the.
oh, that's nice.
So I'll just take a peek over there and I'll just grab we'll grab some turkey. That's like $5, $6, $7, right?
For like a half pound or
Something like that.
yeah, okay.
And that I'll eat in a week.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And frankly,
Yeah, that's like 2 really healthy sandwiches. You know,
you can make 3 or 4.
yeah, you can. Yeah.
And if you do have some spares, I mean,
they go in the dog
right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Right.
She's thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my old cat used to eat that too. Whenever he got turkey, she'd just absolutely just go nuts. So, gimme. So,
But I will say that there is something about a straight up Oscar Mayer bologna sandwich that, forget the taste, there is something about it that feels just downright comforting when you eat one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I've always felt that way. So, yeah. I guess if I were to make a sandwich again, I'd probably be a bologna sandwich. So, I'm sure I will someday, but just didn't feel like it for the last 2 years because it goes bad in my house. Yeah.
Does anybody else in your family make sandwiches? Then it's kind of
Nope, just me.
Yeah.
So
at that point, it's just what am I going to make a pat sandwich?
although I used to make turkey grilled cheese, those are really fucking good.
Turkey grilled cheese are awesome.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There are surprisingly amounts of grilled cheese sandwich. Did you have one of the? I have one. Did you have one of the grilled cheese presses?
No,
I've got one under there. That's perfect for that.
a grilled cheese. Oh, like the panini things. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I never had one of those. I never manufactured grilled cheese to that rate where I needed equipment.
It was a gift.
It was a gift.
It was a
Okay.
gift.
It was a gift.
And I got some mileage out of it. But again, like with all problem things like that, like I'm making a ton of these sandwiches, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not so much anymore, man. But we'll see someday. But yeah, there was definitely years. There was like a decade there where I was a lunch pail guy. So every day. Well, I was more of a brown paper sack kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Going to work every day. It was chips, sandwich, a Coke, and Chips Ahoy or 2.
Chips Ahoy, or you're just kind of like
Baby carrots. So you used to always throw baby carrots in there.
And sometimes you get the thing like the tube of Slim Jims or something. I don't know. You throw one of those things in there or whatever.
Apples. We used to throw apples.
Apples, yeah, some kind of fruit. I would always take cheese.
Oh, cheese. Yeah, cheese.
Yeah, I would buy like the cheese cubes, or I'd buy the cheese sticks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I haven't talked about something as boring as like sack lunches in a while, Pat. I missed you.
I'm sorry.
No, this is a good thing, man. This is actually taking my mind off of what counts as like politics and.
You want to talk about Will Smith? Let's talk about Will Smith.
What do you want to talk about, Will?
I want your take on that one, man. I almost got in an argument at work on Monday on this one.
Okay. What were you arguing about?
Oh no, I want to hear your take. So, because I took this one way, one of my colleagues took it a completely different way. All right, and we came to kind of an agreement. We definitely don't agree. Well, we came to a resolution on this one, but we definitely don't agree on it.
Okay. I'll give you my overview on this. You can take me to task on any part of it that you like.
Okay.
Okay. All I can say is, when the complaint was that Oscars are so white.
I think I know where this is going.
Like, you ever seen one of those videos where the parents at Chuck E. Cheese have been drinking way too much?
Yep.
It's never white families.
Well, if it is, they're really fat. So,
Look, I argue.
you're arguing for a certain level of class here.
Well, what I'm saying here, okay, and this is, of course, this is not a race thing. That's just a joke, all right? But that is really fucking ghetto. And
Yeah.
I will say that It's not appropriate to hit somebody.
Nope.
If you hit somebody, you should be asked to leave. Which it turns out he was. And he didn't.
He was asked to leave?
He was asked to leave.
I did not know that.
He did not. That came out today. He did not leave. He then went on to win the most important Oscar of the night and cried like a baby while he was accepting said Oscar.
His crying was so bad, too.
So, my issue here is there is absolutely no way that you cannot, as an institution, the Oscars, let this go without the most severe infractions that you can throw at somebody, right?
Well, yeah, they should strip him of the Oscar.
Strip him the Oscar and say, you're never welcome back here again.
Yeah.
Right?
Take it back and melt it down and give it to, turn it into gold coins. I don't care. Yeah.
I don't care. But you're never coming back here. And as far as you treat it like, you just vacate the title like a college football scandal. There is just no winner.
There's not even an asterisk. It's just a dash.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's empty.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is just, there is no version of this where, unless you sanction this with the highest possible penalty, you have brought just utter disgrace to what is already a disgraceful institution.
Well, we've talked about this over the last couple of years. I think this is the first time we've had an Oscar since we started doing a podcast.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, but just like the irrelevance of the Oscars over the last 2 years, wasn't it last year where they had like the lowest ratings ever?
Oh, yeah.
So, and so I don't know. I guess it's the cowardice of the Academy that gets under my belt, under my skin on this one. Nobody stood the fuck up and said, throw the bum out.
The Academy did.
Well, apparently, okay, so if that's just coming out today, it wasn't like Jack Nicholson standing up and saying, get the fuck out.
Nope.
So.
Well, because here's the thing, is in any other security situation, if they ask you to leave and you refuse, you are escorted.
This is not a request.
Premises.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the chance for you to walk out on your own 2 feet.
Well, okay, I didn't know that they didn't ask him to leave, but the fact that none of the other people there who are easily on par with Will Smith, all right, stood up and said something. All right, so the only thing was like Denzel Washington got up there and like calmed the dude down.
Yeah, he's like, chill the fuck out.
He's like, chill the fuck out, bro. Yeah, exactly. But nobody's like, even, and then he wins the Oscar and he gets a standing ovation. That's horseshit.
Oh, yeah.
So that is absolute horseshit.
Total horseshit.
And I don't know. It might be a race thing in some respects. Well, you got to clap for the black guy because he got it, kind of thing. But I don't think that's it, man.
I think it's part of it.
It might be part of it. It might be a little piece of it in my mind. It's just that he's one of ours, so we're going to close ranks around him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as like his level of A-lister status, kind of thing. And, okay, so props to Chris Rock for taking that hit like a champ.
Yep, that dude. Look,
the guy's like 150 pounds, like maybe soaking wet. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Chris Rock has never been the leading man in an action film. He's been in action films.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's that guy that they pop into, and he usually says something like, damn, or like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but here's my thing, right? If you were to take this, which is supposed to be a momentous occasion for breaking down the walls of race and stuff like that, but yet the same person that you have here is the only one who's ever assaulted somebody in Oscar history, right? And so you have a one-for-one.
Are you sure? I thought John Wayne did it once. I might be wrong about that. He got in a
during
fight.
The Oscars?
Yeah, he got in a fight with. I don't think he was actually on the stage.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Look, if it happens outside, I wouldn't have a problem if Will Smith and Chris Rock hash this out backstage or outside or anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? You did this on front of the entire world audience. You disgraced the entire institution.
Yeah.
Right? You started swearing like a fucking lunatic.
Oh my God, yes.
Right?
Oh dude, it was just unhinged.
Okay, over what I'm, as far as I'm concerned, is about a milquetoast, joke. Okay,
I thought it was a compliment. It was kind of a backhanded compliment.
Look, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
it wasn't even really that funny.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a dated joke from a movie from 1998. So I'm like,
yeah.
all right, great. I don't care. And like,
Well, and he laughed.
yeah, Will Smith laughed.
Yeah.
Then he looked over at her.
Jada, yeah.
And look, I'm going to give her credit. Like, she actually looked good with no hair. Like, I don't care.
Sure, yeah.
That even if she looked hideous with no hair, it still doesn't bother me, right? Like, what am I going to do? Am I going
Bald jokes are always okay, man. So,
look? And I've heard the argument that it is especially hard when it comes to women going bald, right? Mm-hmm. But I still don't give a fuck. It's still just a stupid joke,
it's a joke.
right?
It's a joke. You're sitting center stage at the fucking Oscars. You're supposed to be able to take. They hire that motherfucker to actually roast all you guys.
Pretty much. Well, and on top of that, here was the hypothetical that was put to me, right?
Right.
They said, "What if?" And God help you, I can't even imagine the situation where the Oscars would be having this. But what if Chris Rock had called Will Smith the N-word? Would that still be okay? I'm like, no.
No.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I wouldn't I'm going to make this patently clear, because then the argument is, well, they're both black. All right. So if Colonel Sanders is on stage and he calls Will Smith the N-word, it still doesn't
What
make
if Chris
it.
Rock was a woman?
So if Chris Rock was the white Colonel Sanders, female white Colonel Sanders, and he called him that, hard R,
Oh, on the Oscar stage?
still doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
That would reflect poorly upon him.
Well, I think actually having, actual, mustache twirling Colonel Sanders, that's like your test case of, when would it actually be okay?
And because at that point, the fault is still on Colonel Sanders.
Correct. It's his bad.
Alleviate him of fault when you rush the stage, and not just, Patrick, this is the other problem I have. Okay? He didn't get into a fight. He jammed on the zero key so fast.
It was a sucker punch.
That's
a sucker punch.
That's a bitch-ass sucker punch.
Chris Rock even leaned into it. So
Yeah, and he didn't even move his feet after getting struck by it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
He just rolled with it like, I don't know, like maybe he'd taken a punch or a slap before,
yeah.
right? Like, let me put this into perspective, okay? I thought about this in terms of, well, maybe this is something cultural or something like that I should give some latitude to, right? But here's my problem with that. Mm-hmm. If there was some kind of cultural ghetto thing to Will Smith, the dude has been in the lap of luxury way longer than he may have been
Since he was 14.
Right.
Yeah.
So whatever lifestyle that you think may be causing that, he's well beyond at this point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, inexcusable. If the dude is not dunked, look, I was already done.
He's
with
not
going to
get dunked.
I was done with fucking the fact that I cared about this at all, I was like, I don't care what the problem with this stems from the fact that we seem to think that that actors and actresses are some kind of level beyond us.
Some people think that.
Well, a lot of people think that, unfortunately. Like, fucking dumbass George Takei was like, we are supposed to set a higher standard. Right?
That's pretty good, George Takei.
I'm trying to be like old, gay, and Asian. So he's trying to throw this at people. I'm like, no, man. What are you talking about? The problem is that people thought that you were something special in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? You have a marketable skill. Okay, so when I break down, what can Hollywood people do? Well, they look better than most of us.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm supposed to cheer them on because they have, genetic gifts.
Yeah.
Okay? They have a certain work ethic to staying in shape or not staying in shape. Okay? And
it varies.
Yeah, depending on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And you are, to various levels of competence, convincing me that you are in a place where you don't exactly exist.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to sit there and compare that person against, I don't know, one of those guys that climbs those 2-mile-high towers and cuts wires, I don't really put them as far as talented or more skilled than anybody else, which means they shouldn't have any degree of reverence, which means that you guys were always this fucking ghetto, and that this has been a charade from the beginning.
I don't know if I can paint in that broad a stroke, man. So I guess the one thing that and so the point of contention that I had with the guy at work the other day was the whole idea as well, if you insult my woman, I'd do that too. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're a hillbilly as well. You know? Right. Got it.
Right.
All right. And so, like, I'm not going to sit here and paint the entire brush. I mean, the fact that, like, 100 people in that theater didn't stand up and say, throw the bum out.
Yeah.
That doesn't speak well to them. Okay. No. But, I mean, the guy who really comes out of this one looking bad is, of course, Will Smith. And so you talk about somebody who I've watched his career for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I used to watch Fresh Prince when he was nobody. So,
well, he was a rapper before. I knew him.
Yeah, right. He was a rapper before then. Yeah. So, but at the same point in time, you know, through his heyday years when he was in everything. Yes. There was a Will Smith's movie every fucking summer, and it was always a blockbuster.
No, he was Mr. July 4th.
He was Mr. July 4th. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You know, just to see someone like that who's had that much success get that unhinged by a really stupid joke. So, and then not have like the decency to leave. So when you're asked, it's like, okay, fine, fuck you. So, all right, I'll never pay for a Will Smith movie again. So
it's not just the movie; it's the institution. Like, if you look, this is the same shit that when Roman Polanski got a standing ovation, I was like,
right,
you people disgust
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
you people.
All right, you got a good point. Yeah, yeah,
right. I'm like, you people are so detached, and like, look, I get it. That's the universe they live in. Okay.
Yeah,
I understand. And you people are so detached. Look, I had 1 million people over there showing up and saying like, oh, well, I'm making a difference because I'm wearing a Ukrainian flag pocket square tonight.
Oh, fuck you. Yeah.
It's like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
Go pick up a rifle. They're taking volunteers. So.
Well, it's different. I do my work here. It's the same shit. And when, like, I don't even know what to tell you when they're like, all right, so our ratings are just completely sad. What's our solution to this? Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall. Okay, so Amy Schumer hasn't had a funny joke since she stopped stealing them. All right? She got in a ton of trouble for that.
I remember that, yeah.
Okay. Wanda Sykes, I remember from...
Wanda? Or no?
She had...
Wasn't she on Martin?
No. I don't know. She might have been, or at least...
She had a show alongside of his.
She had like her own show. Nobody gave a fuck.
Well, yeah, it was like Exile to WB or something like that.
Yeah. And Regina Hall...
CW57 or something.
Yeah. Between...
I remember her show, though. It was like a variety show.
Well, she was on like a sitcom-y type show where she was playing...
Okay, yeah, she had another one.
Look, man, she was on one of those shows where she was playing a woman named Wanda, but with a different last name. All right, so...
Right, like Roseanne, yeah.
Right.
Black Roseanne, got it.
Black lesbian Roseanne, yes.
Oh, is she a lesbian too?
Yeah, she's a lesbian.
Cool, I got to check off more boxes than one.
So they're like, all right, so this is your answer to sagging ratings. I'm like, okay, you're off to a bad start. Mm-hmm. And then, look, I'm not going to hold up the Oscars as... When I had it broken down, okay, when I looked at this came to a head in the Saving Private Ryan incident where...
Oh, it lost to the piano.
No, it lost to Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, that's right.
Which isn't a bad movie.
What was the movie that lost the piano? That was another one that was like, hey, what the fuck, man? But I know what you're talking about with Shakespeare in Love, yeah.
It's not a bad movie, but if you're going to ask me which one of those actually has cultural impact...
Sure, yeah.
Right? I can tell you.
Yeah.
Right? But the whole thing is like, all right, well, this seems a little bit more appropriate. And you know, again, like last night, what's Best Picture? Some fucking movie about a deaf guy that nobody fucking saw.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if it was interesting,
I had never even heard of it, man.
no, nor had I.
I didn't even know the Oscars were on, man.
No.
People told me while I blew up my phone on Monday morning, you know. And it was like, oh, the Oscars are on. Cool. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
March Madness must be over.
yeah. So, I mean, this is the thing is, you have a place with utterly declining ratings. You're completely out of touch with audiences want. And I understand if people are saying, like, well, we don't want to give these to blockbusters. Like, that's fine. That's fine. There are plenty of other movies, right?
Lots.
Plenty of other movies where you guys are not exclusively jerking yourselves off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch this. This hasn't meant a thing to me in a long time. And it's pretty clear, like, numbers never lie. When it comes down to it,
The numbers are horrible.
yeah. When last year they dipped below 10 million to like 8.8 million, which is pathetic because like just 5 years prior, it was like in the 20s,
Yeah.
right?
It's
This
like
year,
less than one episode of Rogan. That's crazy.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. And yeah, so I'm going to sit there and watch the most uninformed people on the planet proselytize to me
Oh, yeah.
about issues that they can't possibly understand, right? Waste my time with this, not look at entertainment from any kind of holistic value where it's like, no, we're looking for a specific thing, right? Again, Best Picture. Some movie about a deaf guy that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
And I would have seen it if I'd heard something about it.
Yeah.
Right? If I'd heard some kind of buzz like, dude, you got to see this. There's this fascinating movie. Like, I'll watch this in a second.
Yeah, no, man. You're very, very, like, open in your tastes. So,
Yeah, I'm absolutely willing to go out there and be blown away. And I'm also willing to go out there and say, this is fucking unfiltered, up its ass, fucking
yeah. Force Awakens.
pretentious.
Hot garbage. Yeah. But Jeff, I kind of like the movie, Pat. You're not going to feel that way in a year. And you were right.
And look, I understand like the feeling on that too, where it was like, yeah, but this actually felt like Star Wars than the last Star Wars movies I was watching. It was like, that I can understand.
Yeah.
Right? But when you look at it, it's like,
This movie's bad.
bro,
Movie's bad. Yeah.
like, they just literally did a Cliff's Notes version of movies you already saw.
All of them. Put them all in one movie.
Yeah. So that's where I was with that. I'm like, fuck you guys. You guys are not going to survive streaming. It is falling apart.
Well, and I guess they figured that out. That's where they're doing all these streaming services now. Or all the releases on Netflix, well, Disney Plus. And things, which I don't have access to and don't care. So,
No.
yeah.
No,
You're not going to convince me to pay for that. So,
I did for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, and within 2 months, I wasn't watching anything.
Yeah.
Like, I ran through the things that I wanted to watch,
Yeah.
and that was it.
I think I might actually kill my YouTube TV, come to think of it.
Are you just not using it?
I use it for local news and that's it. And I can get it with the fucking antenna. So,
You know what? You actually don't even need that. You can go to their webpage.
oh, and I can just cast it on my TV. Fuck yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So when I was on vacation, man, I have a bad piece of news. All right.
no.
I came back and my Xbox was cooked. Did we have a power outage or something? And I don't know. It might be a different neighborhood, but I was just curious. Because my PC was fine. None of my clocks were flashing, but my Xbox is fucking fried. So I did the reset thing on it and everything. The power box itself has the LED on it, but the Xbox One will not turn on. So it is fucking cooked. So it's bricked.
Shit.
Yeah. I replaced it with a $25 Fire Stick. Which came in the mail yesterday. A day after I ordered it.
Well, was your daughter able to figure that out since she's the one that uses it?
No, this was mine.
Oh,
the one that I use downstairs.
All right.
She uses the Xbox 360, so
okay.
which works fine. So even though it's 8 years older, so
It could have been. I don't know. I didn't
know.
notice anything like that, but it could have been.
yeah. Have you ever had one brick out on you?
Not one. I had.
Okay.
So eventually, after many years of rigorous service, my original Xbox died.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did mine.
Now, I have no problems with that because,
Oh, it had a good life, man.
dude, I circled the powertrain warranty like 3 times over just with you guys, let alone
That's true.
like
That thing had adventured at all 4 corners of the world.
my
man.
God, man.
It had a good life.
So I have no problems with that. I of course had one of the defective 360s, but so did everybody.
Yeah.
But what was nice was when I sent it in for servicing, couple of days, here you go, son, we know it's a problem. We replaced it for you.
Yeah. I bought my 360 after that was a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So those of us that had problems with it, they had it taken care of.
Got it.
I didn't have a 1 brick. I've had pretty fair luck with most of my consoles. The only thing I was mad at was my original PlayStation. That thing was a piece of shit.
It was. You sang it to sleep every night and it'd still fucking get cranky.
Sure did. Yeah. I was one of those assholes that had to play the fucking thing upside down for it to work, and even then it would be...
My brother did too.
God damn it, man, because that's the only way it could fucking breathe.
Right, yeah, it wouldn't actually read.
You had to either put it like completely sideways and cover up one vent, or flip it upside down, put the disc in, right?
Pancake it shut, yeah.
It was then I was like, I'm never buying another piece. Because they were like, the problem is you. I'm like, yeah. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, crazy? So the grunt for a while, I was like, my Genesis is still in fine working condition.
I don't think I have mine anymore. I don't think it survived a move like 4 or 5 years ago.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I did have it for the longest time though.
And it was functioning until the end, I'd imagine.
I still have a couple games
Now,
for
didn't
it.
you give it to like your sisters?
Oh, maybe we did.
I think you did. I think because like aren't they the ones that got your N64?
Oh, someone got my N64. It might have been them.
I thought so because you told me that you were like playing GoldenEye and shit with those people, and you just took them to the woodshed.
It's either that or it's actually in a box in my mom's basement.
It could be.
That one might have been that move where we actually cleaned out the house and put a bunch of stuff down there.
But I do remember you telling me about you just...
Oh, they couldn't figure out how to get a corner. They never played a 3D shooter ever. And so everybody's sitting here getting like dizzy barf, you know, kind of stuff. And I'm like, hey.
You just putting it to them.
Can't help myself, man.
Oh, my God. I was thinking of you, actually, when you were gone, because I came across just a treasure trove of videos that were making me laugh because they had to do with GTA 5. Now, I played that years ago. I'm pretty sure.
I just played it last year.
Yeah. And that's why I was thinking of you, because this dealt with something that I didn't when I played this like 8 years ago or whenever it came out, like on the 360.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's where I played it.
Yeah.
Right? And I gotta show you this. I was dying because there's this. It was actually a VTube, right? So this is translated from Japanese, right? And I'm laughing because this is some shit that I never considered, and she's going ape shit, and I'm laughing because what she's doing is she's enforcing social distancing. She,
In GTA 5?
Yeah,
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
she dying because of course she's driving in a stolen police car, and she would drive to the Los Santos pier, and she'd see if people were outside.
Yeah.
And she would come up to people, she would talk to them, and eventually it would either be one of those just haymaker punches followed by stay home.
Oh, God.
Or she would break out the firearms when the police came out. And one thing I totally forgot, and this is why I was laughing so hard, was I forgot how funny the physics are with the punches in that game. Because the animation is great.
Oh, yeah.
When you actually knock somebody down, it's just humbling, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, especially with the black guy, man. He's got the best haymaker in the entire thing. Franklin's haymaker is like that deserves an Oscar in animation. Yeah. So, yeah, you'll have to send me that one.
I will, man.
Yeah.
I was crying laughing because and then of course, she, when she loses it, she goes on top of a very tall building and starts plugging people from a distance.
Sniper
It's just
rifle.
like, stay home, stay home. You're not supposed to be outside. But because there was no pandemic when I played that game.
There was
right?
no pandemic. Yeah, I guess when I was playing the game, there was a pandemic going on, but it was blissful not to have a pandemic going on in that game.
Well, I suppose in direct contrast, it probably felt good to go outside.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Pandemic's cooked, man.
Yeah.
Not in China, but yeah, like, you know, even like I think we still have to wear masks on airplanes, but that's going away in like a week.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly a month, but they haven't. That's up for debate.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like okay, so people who fly now, they're not all fucking weird about it and shit. Everybody's just kind of like, all right, whatever. We just don't want the flight to be delayed, you know, kind of thing. But, yeah, there was no, like when we flew last year, there was a little bit of stress associated with it.
Yeah.
This
happened to
time
me
it
too,
was
yeah.
fine. It was fine. There was no stress. You know, everybody's cool now. It's just like, yeah, we're kind of over it. Yeah, okay, we got to wear our masks here. You know, can I take it off when I get outside? Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want any trouble. I just want to get to where I'm going, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of had that too. Just exactly the thought that you're thinking of, like, I don't want no trouble, mister.
Yeah.
Right? You want me to put the mask on? The mask goes on.
Yep.
You tell me when I can take it off.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, because remember, that's why I had to buy the first class seat, because the mean old future blob was just had squished me in my seat.
The mean
during-
old future blood. What?
I told you, because like when I went in when I went in third class or coach or whatever you call it.
Third class. Steerage.
You know.
You're with all the Italians and the Irish.
So when I was in the seats of 3 instead of 2.
Got it.
All right. But without extended leg room. So that would be
Right.
like business.
Maybe.
Okay. Because I think 3 with leg room is business. 3 with the kennels or whatever you call them back there is just like third class or steerage or coach
Right,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
fucking remember.
Coach.
But when I was sitting back there, that's when I was surrounded by 2 blobs of human beings, both breathing like Darth Vader, and that's why I had to buy that first class ticket on the way out. I was like, I can't do it.
This was to
freaked out.
Vegas?
No, this was to PDX. This was to Portland.
okay,
Yeah,
Portland.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah,
That's a long haul to be sandwiched between 2 human blobs. Yeah.
freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, so-
right? So yeah.
Can I upgrade right now?
Oh, well, that was the thing, was since the airlines are so proactive about you like checking in and stuff,
Yeah.
they're the ones that put the suggestion to me.
Yeah.
They're like, do you want to upgrade to first class? I'm like, can I? They said, do you have a little bit of money to spend? I'm like, I do.
I do.
Like, take it.
Yeah, take it. Get me out of here.
So yeah, I did that. But yeah, it was so goddamn uncomfortable. Not just like on good conditions. In no disease conditions, I would have been uncomfortable. But
Oh,
with,
sure, yeah. 2 guys that you're rubbing against.
yeah, just completely mashed me in and just. So I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna
barf.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna barf.
This is how it happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna die. This is how it happens. Get suffocated halfway over Salt Lake City.
Damn it, man.
Between two mounds of cellulose.
Jesus. Yeah.
See, that's the cool thing about flying with your family, man. So there's three of us. We get 3 seats together, so I don't have to worry about anybody else. You know?
I know.
Even my mom was saying, well, maybe I'll fly to Michigan this year. You know, do you think I could use your dad's old buddy passes? I was like, don't even fucking think about it. I was like, don't even fucking think about it. I know you still can do that on his airline if you want to as a retiree. I was like, you will be in steerage.
Yeah.
So, and it will cost you about $10 less than an actual ticket would cost you. So, and I was like, Ma, you've got the money. Go buy a ticket. Pick the exact seat you want. In fact, buy the one next to you. That's fine too. You know? So tell them you're bringing a cat with you or something.
Where's your cat? Does it matter?
Does it matter? Yeah.
You're not sitting here.
No.
This is where my cat sits.
This is where my cat sits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's, you know, air travel is so fucking stupid compared to
ghetto,
what, yeah,
man.
it's so bad.
Ghetto.
It's so bad. Yeah, it's like an Oscar night. You know? So, but I think that there's definitely no trips in my future that will not involve me actually paying for like seats and then checking in as quickly as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Just because if you take all the stress out of doing that, it's so much easier. The other thing that I've become a convert to is actually checking bags. I never used to check bags. Now I always fucking check a bag. And it's because I never fly to someone where they don't sell toothbrushes. So,
yeah.
And so it's like, fuck it. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and try and stuff this thing under the seat in front of me. I'm not going to sit here and actually like try and lug it all the way through the airport, you know, when I don't know how far my gate is and stuff like that. Fuck it. I'm just going to check it. You know
fair
what?
enough.
Yeah. It's so much easier.
Well, to be fair, the last... God, when I was doing the most traveling was between here and Williston, right?
Yeah.
So what you ended up doing anyway was, because they were small planes, even though these were the regulation size ones, the ones that you took still had to be checked at the gate, right?
Oh, yeah. So the little ERJs or whatever they're CR37s.
Yeah, so they put the green ticket on it, and ultimately all you end up doing is you end up checking a bag somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So for me, it became one of two things. It's like either check the bag, right? Or just, you know, because I'm always going to be taking like my gigantic laptop with me, which comes in that backpack.
Yeah.
I can fit pretty much everything that I need
in the backpack. Yep.
And that's fine, because that will be on my lap, because I'm going to be fucking with this thing on the airplane anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to talk to those fucking blobos, you know, on the side. I mean, I'm going to sit there and play like Skylines with my gigantic "Don't Talk to Me" headphones on.
See, that's what I need next time. I had earbuds and they just don't work.
No, people still want to talk to you.
What?
People still want to talk to you.
Well, my family sits next to me.
Oh, goddamn, you're right.
So
yeah,
that's okay. It's just, it's just like, okay, so like I didn't bring my laptop to play games on.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But I did have my phone and I was going to listen to one of my podcasts and I can't fucking hear it. Okay. So, because I have a preferred place to sit on all planes. So I like to sit about 5 or 6 rows behind the wing. Okay. So
if it's a secret reason, you don't have to share it, but I am interested in why.
I like to watch the ailerons, the flaps, and stuff. I'm into all that fucking plane shit. And so... I get it, I know. So, yeah, but I like to be able to see the wings so I can know what's going on, you know, kind of thing.
Look,
so
you know what you are. I don't have to say it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
But you are a dweeb.
I'm a plain dweeb.
No. Yeah. Come on, man. The same thing goes, like, you told me more about trains than I could ever hope to know. So I'm sure that there are certain things that you would be paying attention to if you're riding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, there's things that I would be looking for and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just always been a thing of mine. So, and then, so my dad was kind of the same way, but not for the same reason. All right. Dad always liked to sit behind the wing. All right. Because he was just the most chillaxed flyer out there. And so he's like, I'm not going to sit up front, okay, because I'm not going to stand up when everybody else does. Yeah. I'm going to sit here and read my magazine until everybody leaves, and I'm going to grab my bag quietly and go. Yeah. You know, and like that is something that neither my wife or my daughter really understand yet. So, but they're getting there. Yeah. So it's kind of like, Dad, can we go now? I was like, why? Are you in a rush? So you can wait now in a seat, or you can wait downstairs in the baggage claim. Yeah. You know, because, oh, look at that. I can look out the window. They're still offloading bags. So it's going to be a little while, you know? So just relax.
No, I totally understand that. Since I travel by myself most of the time, I have no choice because I have to, unless I'm at the window. Yeah. I have to get out to let all those other people out anyway, so I have to be part of the.
Oh yeah, see, I'm always a window seat guy.
Departure club.
So I am always a window seat. So, although I did give it to my daughter one time, then I'll ride in the middle seat because I still want to be close to the window.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. So.
No, absolutely.
I refuse to piss on an airplane unless I absolutely positively have to. So, oh man, I've been in too many airplane lavatories. I wouldn't touch anything there. So,
bro, I don't.
I can tell you.
No, I know you can. Yeah. The problem here is, I already know what I'm getting into just being in that clump of humanity, right? And this is not to say that you all are fucking like Jeff's flying the Leper Express or some shit like that. It's just like,
no,
it's just, I know that whatever infectious anything, it's like, this is all just recirculated air. I'm sitting next to you. I'm squished next to you. Like,
are airplanes, I don't think they are recirculated air. No, they take in fresh air and pressurize it.
Well, that's cool and all. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, that's actually a myth. Yeah. No, like, you're still in close proximity to a lot of fucking meat bags. So
like, yeah, well, you know, and I'm not going to go in there with a N95 and a fucking welding mask and
I didn't see anybody doing that.
When I went, people were.
Oh, dude! Still, when I went last year, fucking hey, there were guys wearing like those fucking ones from Desert Storm and shit.
It's like I'm not traveling with a fucking hazmat suit I got off Amazon. Like, no, that's gonna make me too uncomfortable. So I'm like, whatever. Like the bathroom is the least of my concerns when it comes to actually getting sick.
Yeah. No. I don't know. The bathroom, there's a special kind of sick that you can get in the bathroom that only comes into contact with toilet seats. So, right. Yeah. I gotcha. So, yeah.
Look, I know plenty of guys that, on the best of conditions, if they have to go to a public bathroom, they're still opening the door with their sleeve and kicking the flusher with their foot.
Oh, so, really? Oh, see, I'm not that bad anymore.
No, I don't care.
No, I mean, like, as far as COVID goes, man, I've been exposed to it so many fucking times now that...
I had it.
Yeah, you had it. Yeah, I don't think I ever had it. Or if I did have it, I was completely asymptomatic and it didn't show up in my... Well, I haven't had one of the, what is it, the PCR tests? I haven't done one of those in a while. I don't think I'm ever going to do one again. So, unless they make me for work or something, but I don't think so, man.
Because even if I had something that was... remarkably similar to all the symptoms of COVID. Man, I was wearing the sweat of my COVID-laden brother when he was like, I've been exposed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that at this point. In fact, I had the bad version. The shit they have now is
Delta. Like, you had the Delta, right? I think that's when Delta was going on.
It was one of the Greek alphabet that people know.
Yeah.
We're not getting to like.
Well, we got weird Omicron going on now or something.
Yeah, we're down to Jesus fish or whatever it is. I don't know. Whatever the one that looks like a bull's head or I don't know.
Yeah. The one. It's a big squiggly E. You know that means sum on your calculator. Yeah.
It's the one where you have to like line up the bull's horns with the surveying tool. And
On Crete, yeah. Yeah. Draws little dashes. Takes forever to get it right, but once you do, you feel stupid. Like 99% of like the little bit of audience that we have will not get that joke. Yeah. So there is no hope that they would ever get that joke.
Well, they made Indiana Jones.
Oh man, speaking of old school computer games, you know what I fired up the other day? The original version of Colonize.
You know, I know you did.
Oh, did you see that on Steam?
I was working and yeah, I didn't think I had Steam. Just the weirdest thing. You know what it was? I had to restart my computer. Because I always shut down Steam unless I'm going to use it, right? And so I restarted it, and I'm sitting there working, and out of nowhere, I get this little pop-up on the bottom of my window that says,
Patrick is playing
colonization. I was like... it was weird. I was like, I don't feel comfortable knowing this.
Oh yeah, see, I turned all those things off, man. So I don't know when you hop onto things. So,
oh, dude.
I mean, if I go into your Steam profile, I can see what you played last and like how much of it you played. Yeah, yeah. But I don't think there's a way to turn that off. So
no, that's public information.
Yeah.
If you want to know how many hours I put into Infernax, you're welcome to find out.
Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube on it. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go fire that up. It took like 2 seconds to download. You know? And I was like, sure, let's try this out, man. They're trying the Williams strategy of wiping out all the natives.
How's it feel? Do you feel
shockingly good?
Oh.
There's something about like 90s carnage that just kind of feels nostalgic, you know?
Oh, I was curious if you just took a different approach, like you look at this and you're thinking like, I don't feel guilty, you guys eat people or whatever.
Right, no, well, they're not super mutants. But I did do that.
A horrible thing to say about Native Americans, but
they're not super humans, man. Yeah. They don't eat children. So, but so I did the thing that like the William Scorched Earth strategy, where rather than do anything, you immediately sail back to England or the Netherlands because you always play as the Dutch.
So you can load up with
no, you play as the Spanish because you start with a veteran soldier. And then you get double money for killing the natives. So, yeah, you play as a Spanish. If I recall the strategy, William, if you're listening, you can correct me on this. So, but you immediately turn back around, go back to Spain, buy guns for the other guy and horses if you can afford it. I think you can only buy guns, though, because you only got like $50.
Yeah, but your other dude doesn't... Yeah, he doesn't have horses, does he?
He doesn't have horses. Yeah, and then you immediately go back, and rather than establishing a colony, you find one to take.
Yeah.
You take their guys, and then you constantly watch out for the Europeans. You know, because whenever they show up, you take whatever they build. And then you use the money you get from that, and from finding the little sundial discs, to go wipe out either the Incas or the Aztecs, whoever actually shows up.
Yeah.
And then you use all that money to buy cannon. So this strategy takes about an hour to implement. To the point in time where at least one of the Europeans will actually withdraw from the New World.
And evidently that is like the sweetest message that you'll see.
It kind of is.
When they have given up on owning territory across the Atlantic.
Yeah, they're just like, we're done. Well, that one and the other one where it's like, well, this land is ours, and then you have to say, well, we protect vital Spanish interests. And we're not
when
leaving.
You're privateering too?
No. When you first meet the Europeans in that one, they try and threaten you. And you're like, oh no, I'm going to threaten you. And then, because they turn around and they say, well, will you agree to a partition? You know, and you're like, no. And they're like, well, I guess this means war. And you're like, yeah, it does. Get fucking ready, because I got cannon in 1509.
No, I buy you out.
I buy you out, yeah. So I played like 3 hours of that game the other day. I was just so thoroughly satisfied with the destruction I wrought.
Just giggling all the
Glorious
time.
256 colors. And the the highest resolution being 640 by 320 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but don't pretend that there's not a certain there's an irreplaceable charm to that.
Yeah.
That just it's like a bologna sandwich.
That
It
game is really
It-
colorful too. Yeah, it really is colorful.
where you take a look at what the limitations were and you saw how people worked with them.
Oh, they did
That's
a great job.
kind of why, I've joked about this here. Like, so one of the things that I do when I'm typing away is I will sit there and I'll there's a Twitch channel that runs 24/7. It's always speed running games.
Oh, okay.
Right. And there's this thing where you get to that 16 and 32-bit generation and they're showing like two-dimensional games, and you are looking at animators and designers at the height of their craft.
Yeah,
Right?
as good as it got. Yeah.
And at the same time, then they'll play like a PlayStation 1.
Oh yeah. GoldenEye.
It's
ugly.
Well, yeah, and you're like, wow, that looked cool in 1997.
Dude.
But it is you look at the other ones and it's like you're watching like Pinocchio from the 30s.
Yeah.
Versus you're seeing this bullshit blocky, horribly textured. you know,
Resident Evil 1. I saw a playthrough of that a little bit the other day. It looks terrible, man. So, and I remember that game looking gorgeous back then.
like this is the coolest thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
it's
It's
the
like
coolest thing you'd ever seen.
I went to sleep and woke up in the future.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah.
Yeah, but then you kind of go back to the so there was actually a GDC a while ago with the guy who did most of the art for LucasArts
Oh,
in the
really?
beginning. Yeah. And so he was actually hired by two of the guys. Who were the original guys over there? Was it like Bruce Shelley? Or no, that was MPS.
Are you talking about Ron Gilbert?
Ron Gilbert,
Yeah.
yeah. And I can't remember the other guy's name. But the lead programmer, the guy who invented the SCUM system too, the musician. And so they were looking for guys in, I mean, this is all in Hollywood because that's where LucasArts was, who had like graphic design experience in like 1989. And it was like nobody. Like, no, there were like very few people who could even do that. And so these two guys, and they were doing like the talk on this one was so interesting. And then they had the third guy who was actually the artist on the panel.
Tim Schafer?
I think it was Tim Schafer. And they were
Is
like,
that the other name I'm thinking of?
yeah, that sounds familiar. So I think that's the other guy. But then they were like, okay, so we looked and looked and looked. And then suddenly we just had this epiphany. It was like, well, fuck this. We're in Hollywood. It's full of artists. We can find an artist and tell him that you have to use these tools. A lot easier than we can find a programmer who's learning art. So- and that's why those and that's why some of those initial games are just gorgeous, man, because the guy was like, oh, this is my palette? Okay. You know, I can work with that. So just basically doing stuff in Corel Draw, you know, back in the day.
You guys don't know what that is.
You guys don't know what that is. Yeah.
No, that makes that's the what is it? The Armageddon argument.
The Armageddon argument?
Yeah, where it's
with the drillers, yeah.
it's way easier to teach drillers to be astronauts than astronauts to be drillers.
That can't be true, man. Used to drill, Jeff, tell me. So does it take years and years and years of practice? So
to learn to be a driller?
yeah.
Okay, so let me put it to you this way.
Because I can tell you it takes about 10 minutes to teach someone how to run a locomotive.
Let me say it this way. Okay.
A few years to do it well.
All right. So when I was in Houston, and I was there with the guys that were in DD Academy, okay, one of the things they make you do in DD Academy is they make you do all this shit, okay, by hand.
Okay.
So when it comes to understanding the conditions and having to do the math to make these determinations to understand why it does what it does, okay, there were guys I knew that were struggling in there because they're like, fuck. It's like, I know how to do this on the machine,
Yeah.
right? And when it comes down to it, everybody does it by saying, well, I want this, tap, 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 do this, unless my discretion says do this instead. But when you have to actually do the math on it, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Right? Keep in mind that my brother's microchips in his head discovered the secret of this by just taking the instructions, like seeing, all right, here are the results. Here's what the guys told me to punch in. Ergo, that means this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And over the course of like a couple of months, he'd completely figured out, oh, well, if you see this and you want this result, I should do this, this, and this. Like,
Yeah.
have you done this before?
It's just
like,
algebra.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
You gave me figures, I entered figures, and I figured out the space in between.
Yeah.
Now, of course, at that point, they recognized that they had come across the chosen one, but they
Some more deep. Brilliant.
but my brother didn't want to. He fought his destiny, and he stayed with the job that he knew, even though he had what it took to be like the two-sport Bo Jackson of directional drilling.
Okay.
Right? Which I don't blame him for. You get to watch way more TV when you were doing what we were doing. But in terms of doing the math on it, what I can tell you is that if you were an astronaut, you already know that math.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen Apollo 13. They do math with slide rules.
They do.
Capsule.
Yeah, they do.
So
They do, and there are certain things that they have to know. Like, pilots actually have to know.
a lot of math.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, I generate lift.
Yeah.
All right, sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. So they figure out their own weight and balance and all that stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess like so the guys in like LucasArts at that point in time said, you know what, it's a lot harder to be an artist than it is to be a programmer. And so you can take your many, many years of practice and formal education and actually immediately apply it into something that's going to be much more simple.
Bro, dude, you and I played games from that era where you remember these days when you'd play a computer game, right? And see, now when you play GTA 5, play it through to the end, which I didn't. It was at that point I was just like dinking around because I played just about all of them, right? It was almost like a rite of passage because I played the first one on PC. I think I still have the disc.
I never played that one.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah.
And all I did was goof around.
Yeah.
Right? I played the second one on PC. Same game, different location, just more shit.
Yeah.
Played the third one just a little bit. I'm like, you guys are starting to get kind of full of yourselves.
That was one in Miami, right?
That was Vice City.
That was Vice City.
That one I played for about 5 hours. And like the only thing I ended up having fun doing was I commandeered a golf cart. I drove around to rich people and I beat the shit out of them with golf clubs. And I'm like, this is the game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to...
I never, yeah.
Well, because at that point, the guys had just, like, they'd watched Goodfellas, like, 25 times, and they're like,
right.
Let's just rip this off.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck Tommy Vassetti. It's like, you know, it's like, fuck you. I think he actually was played by Ray Liotta. I'm pretty sure he was. But then I played the fourth one, I'm like, this is the same game. It's better, like, the activities are way better. And the fifth one, don't get me wrong, like, it is sort of the same game, but the actual sense of living a life in Los Santos is more realized than like it's so stupid, but at the same time it feels like you do live in that stupid world.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
Where it's like where I'm just making it's like I can't believe I'm doing yoga. I can't.
Right, yeah, exactly. I just killed Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. You know?
Right. Just
the phone. You know?
The way that your phone irritates you, and you know,
oh man,
there's something in that game that's like, all right, this isn't real life, but it's close enough to real life where it's bothering me. But I'm like, this is still fun, but I didn't finish it all the way through.
Driving a garbage truck around, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And again, I never enforced social distancing. I would have probably laughed. Like, this is.
I did play GTA Online for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Trying to make defense. So.
That's right.
So.
Yeah.
So was my cyberpunk guy though.
But what I was saying is we go back far enough where you would play computer games and they would roll the credits and you would say like 1 to 3 names, and one guy has like 7 titles.
Oh yeah,
right.
So your producer is usually your lead programmer and your chief designer. You know,
And these were the games where the programmer was also the lead artist.
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's why you all have.
Sid Meier was the lead artist on the original Civ, so he's the guy who actually did.
Did he pixel art all of the.
He pixel arted all the map on that thing, so the map is his thing.
Who did the character portraits?
Somebody else, and so
Oh, okay.
yeah. But and the units and all that stuff he did. Like I can't remember. It might have been on a GDC, or it might have been on a separate one where I actually saw him where he was talking about all the work that went into the original Civ, because he had done a couple other simulations before then. But Civ was kind of like his magnum opus.
Oh, didn't he like? He had another like couple of games to his under his belt before then, but they were like, weren't they weird?
Well,
like,
he did Railroad
simulation
Tycoon
games?
before that, and
okay.
he did Pirates before then too. So the original
can't believe
Pirates was
Pirates
back in
was
the
before
80s. Yeah, the original
Wow.
one, yeah. That was a very old game. And then actually I had a game from him that was done like 1984. It was called like Strike Fleet.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a military game.
He had a couple under his belt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which was actually a really good game. So for its time, I had it on the Commodore 64. So
Actually, it probably looked really cool on the cover.
it actually did. It looked
compared
really
to-
good. Yeah.
The gamut of quality on Commodore 64 games is quite broad.
Oh yeah. No, that was probably one of my better ones. Yeah, then I had some really bad ones. So
That's what I'm
Commodore
saying.
64.
Is a lot of those games with one guy has all the credits.
Yeah.
When you had the programmer that was the artist, there were some deformities. There
Yeah.
were some like
Yeah.
versus you teach the artist to.
Yeah. I don't know. I've played some pretty good games that were like single man kind of things.
Oh yeah,
But they're all like hex and counter war games and stuff like that.
shit, some of those were ASCII.
ASCII, yep, you're right. Yeah, yeah. I don't know though, man. I gotta find something new to play. So you said you quit on Elden Ring.
I might play it again.
Yeah, I've kind of been looking at it, man. So,
but I know what my problem is with it.
What's
I know
that?
exactly what my problem
Yeah?
is. My problem is that your attacks, okay? So with a lot of action games that I do like, okay, where it's the same kind of fast-paced, parry mechanics, that kind of stuff, right? The enemies in that game don't stagger the way that I like them to, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so in the action games I'm like, where you are supposed to react quickly,
Yeah.
or just be able to see the start of their animation and either parry or dodge.
Uh-huh.
Most of those games where you don't have like really good stagger mechanics allow you to cancel your attacks, right? So you can cancel into dodge in the middle of your attack
Uh-huh.
because you're reacting to seeing them move.
Okay.
Okay. In this, you buy a wedding ring for all of your attacks. Okay. Once you start it, you're
buy a
swinging
wedding
all the
ring?
way through. Yeah. Okay. You're fully engaged. You do.
Oh,
not,
I get you. I go what you're
Okay.
saying. Yeah.
You have to go all the way through, right? So you have to. The only way through this is you have to lose these fights over and over again to be like, all right, this is his wind up, which means I have enough time for exactly this and this, then I have to
Yeah.
dodge. Versus reacting to it, okay? The game is designed to make you lose fights over and over.
Okay.
Right? Which, again, is fine for some people,
Sure.
but in that style of game for me, I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
This does not reward the things that I like to be rewarded.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I hadn't really considered that. So, or I haven't heard that critique. Let me put it that way.
Well, and if you like
So-
that style, it's perfectly fine for you.
What's a game that's similar to that we've played?
But you and I have played?
Yeah.
Most of the ones I've played, you haven't. So, like,
Yeah, that's true.
all of like the DMC games, Metal Gear Rising, Bayonetta, all those games, those are all based off of you can cancel your attacks at any time.
So that would be like Shadow of Mordor. You can do that. So
a little bit different, but yeah.
I know, but you can always duck out of something in that game if you want to.
Yeah.
So
Instant cancel.
or you can instantaneously parry things. So
right.
Yeah. Whereas like maybe Dragon Age had a little bit more of that, where you had to actually go all the way through with your attack. I just remember that with that Night Sorcerer Jedi thing that we used to do. So
okay.
Yeah, because you had a 3-stroke attack that you couldn't cancel out of with that guy. So
because that battle system was sort of like real time, but not real time. It was.
It kind of was, yeah.
So yeah, it's different mechanics. Like I said, I might go through it to see if there's like an angle on this that opens up for me that I like a little bit more.
It just looks really pretty.
Well, it is super pretty. All those games those guys make are super pretty. They're cool looking, but I don't like games where you have to lose, right? I don't mind losing, but I don't like games where the only way to learn is to either A, lose a whole bunch of times, or B, go to YouTube, watch somebody else do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this is...
No.
I hate this.
Yeah.
I don't...
Oh, excuse me. No, I'm not a fan of that either.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a fan of that at all. So, yeah, I kind of like the last game that I just literally didn't even look on YouTube for anything. Well, I did wind up doing that quite a bit on Dragon Age because I wanted to find where fucking things were. Because some of those maps were goddamn enormous. So,
yeah.
On that one. So I was like, where is it? So, where's the last fucking portal?
Dude, and look, you get to look after you've done your due diligence. And when you see that you have been wandering around for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And that counter says 12 out of 13.
Yeah.
Thingies. Or when you're looking for the last little bit of gold pressed latinum or whatever the fuck it was is on the map where you have like 14 out of 15.
Right.
And you have been up and down and around that stupid series of sand bridges.
Oh god, the Wile E. Coyote level. Yeah.
Clearly you remember.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I was like, I don't know how to get up there. How the fuck do I get up there? Because I know that's where it is. I've been trying all fucking afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me go find it. And so that was like one of the last games that I played that I absolutely had to do that on. But the last one that I played, when I went through Cyberpunk, the game felt so natural all the way through that it was like, it's fine. I'll figure it out. Yeah. You know, yeah. It's like, I got the little markers on my map and shit. If I want to go there, I will. So, kind of thing. But just like the combat system and that one of the things, it was like, I'm gonna slap this on here. I'm gonna restat myself to do this now. Yeah. So
and there were occasional moments of like slot this, break down, put this, click. What do we have here?
What do we have here? What is my crit chance now? Yeah.
And you do.
It's like, wait a minute. If this is a proportion, that would be 100%.
Right. You're like, you do a little bit of radio math, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me go shoot something, and then you do, and the world has now changed.
Right.
You can't go back. You're like, this is life. Pre-1945,
right? Yeah, this is the world with nuclear weapons. Now,
like, fucking atom has been split, and this is good. Like, this can't end well for you because I have no restraint. Like,
no, I just became invincible. So
the only question is, like, how far do you take this absurdity? And again, my line of demarcation on this is when you dress for style instead of...
Yep, in Cyberpunk, where I felt determined to build myself the most badass business suit. Because I was Hitman 13 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas the first part of this game, you're wearing like...
Well, nothing was as bad as Fallout, man, where you're wearing chunks of rebar.
Look, but let us not pretend like the fucking Zubaz safety pants that you were wearing in that game. And,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that was much better. But eventually you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, a t-shirt.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really care what the stats are. Oh, shoes? Actual shoes?
Yeah, actual shoes.
Oh, look. Instead of me sitting there walking around with two like fucking car sponges
He's fucking
on my
moon
feet.
boots.
Yeah. Then you start playing the game because you're like, all right, wait, now I have to dodge.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing a game again.
Yeah.
This is cool.
It's cool.
Right? Yeah, that's sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I actually have a movie recommendation for you based off of an old request that you made years ago.
What's that?
Okay? I remember that you had a problem. You were like, I am so sick of movies where, like, you were like, for God's sake, are there just no heroes in movies anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So I finally sat down. It's on Amazon Prime Video.
Okay.
I watched Train to Busan.
Oh.
All right? Now,
Isn't that about zombies?
so it is a zombie movie.
Okay.
Right? However, I was like, am I really going to watch another one of these movies where the real enemy is man? Right?
Please, God, no.
Okay. So there is that. However, this movie did me just the greatest favor, and you'll know him when you see him. Right? This movie, in the middle of this, and there is a clear moral message. You follow that, and it's fine. It actually tracks. It's great. Okay?
Okay. I've heard good things about the movie.
It did something I like so much, wherein the movie stops, it's introducing characters, and there's this guy who seems a little abrasive at first, but you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this dude is like a fucking level 49 Giga Chad. And he is just like, I can't believe how much I miss having guys like this in these movies. I'm like, in a zombie movie of all things.
Right.
I'm like, this is great.
Okay. I might have to check that out. So, because I have heard good things about it. So, that it's not as terrifying as like, or it. So I heard that the protagonist in it is actually very likable. So, and that the actual overall story arc was
It tracks.
yeah, I don't know if that's exactly how they put it, but I know what you mean. So
It's not one of those. It is not one of those insulting.
wait, I'm the bad guy. Yeah.
Dude.
Sorry.
No. In the new Star Trek show,
Oh no.
in Star Trek Picard,
P-card. Okay.
which, as far as I'm concerned, is just, this is like fan fiction, but the future gets screwed up. They have to go back to the distant past, which is our future.
Okay.
Okay. And boy, have we messed it up.
Oh my God, we are just awful, an awful species, Jeff.
I want you to understand this. One of the characters, because they come from the future, because they have to go into the past, he's detained by ICE.
Oh.
He's undocumented.
Oh.
Okay. And when they go to get him out, they stop to say, no human should be illegal.
Got it. I don't need to watch this, man.
That is so embarrassing.
Dude, it's so on the nose. So, and
No, like, I get it, because in the old Trek shows, right, they would
Sure.
have like a moral problem.
yeah.
Okay. They would hash it out with this, bizarre set of circumstances. And by the end, they'd have like this subtle reflection of like, racism is ultimately self-defeating.
Right.
Okay. New Star Trek is like, these racist aliens are called Trumplicats.
The Trumplicats. Yeah. Okay, so like, yeah, going all the way back to the Oscars and stuff. Yeah. This is just like, I don't know, man.
God.
I don't need to watch any of this,
No.
And really, when it comes
No.
down to it, man, I mean, your whole point about the fact that as like the next generation and stuff like that comes up, they're not going to have these collective movie like Independence Day experiences and shit that we did.
No.
Because like Hollywood's completely tailored to specific audiences, just like the news is. And nobody's going to sit there and take that shit anymore. They're just not going to show up to the next one.
Right. Either you're into that and you want to have it super duper reinforced.
Yeah.
Or you're like, are you really, did you stop this movie to lecture me about capitalism?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, and that's just, it's not going to fly anymore, man. Because it's like, I don't have to watch this. So I've got more than enough things that are competing for my time now that I don't have to catch all 5 blockbusters like we used to when we were kids. Otherwise, you didn't have shit to talk about in the fall, when you showed up back to school. So, yeah, it's just not going to work like that anymore. And so P-Card is telling me that Trumplicats should be, basically shoved in the oven somewhere, then I don't really need to watch that. So,
well, that's the interesting thing was when you did have sort of distinction and you were supposed to have like cultural touchstones, right?
Sure.
The whole thing is if you're trying to grab a big market at all, it means that you had to dial some of that back.
Well,
right?
And you had to bring in people who weren't on board with that already. I mean, that's the whole thing about, what was it, fucking Philadelphia? Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Dude, that was a great movie, and it brought in everybody, because it was like, oh, we're going to talk about a gay guy getting AIDS. Okay, so, and that's not to say, well, here's a gay guy who got AIDS, and you should feel sorry for him. It was very much so along the lines of, let's just watch his life a little bit, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a totally different approach.
Well, dude,
yeah.
I want you to take this back here.
Or the Birdcage. You can even go that direction and say, okay, this is fucking funny. It's got Robin Williams in it. And y'all love what Robin Williams, don't you?
Yeah.
You all remember Mork and Mindy, right? So, yeah. Come in here and watch this. Oh, we got Gene Hackman in this movie, for crying out loud. The least gay guy you could probably find. So, and guess what? We're going to dress him in drag, and it's going to be fucking hilarious. That's how you get people in the theater, man. So, you don't go in there and say, like, you have to watch this movie because it's got trans issues in it. Please come watch it.
Well, it's not a please. It's a threat.
I dare you not to watch it. There we go. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, do you hate these female Ghostbusters because they're women? It's like, no, I am because they're not funny. They won't
the
shut
movie
the fuck
sucks.
Up.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I remember when we, as a unit, as a platoon, our platoon went to go see Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. Right. Mm-hmm. And I remember that even at that point, there's this part.
Democracy dies to thunderous applause.
and of course, in the other part where he's like, only a Sith deals in absolutes, right? Because that was playing off of the across the world governments have heard this message: you're either with us or you're with the terrorists, right? So it was.
Oh yeah, that was after that.
And so we kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, come the fuck on! It's like. Could you show a little restraint? That was restraint. Evidently, that was. God.
It was like, what was it? It was like 6-7 years after that when Star Trek II, the Darkness one, came out. And it's like, oh, this whole movie is about imperialism.
Yeah, where you could say like, it's like, this is Space 9/11.
This is Space 9/11, yeah.
Right?
So.
And this is.
They even made the guy kind of brown, man. So, yeah, they just couldn't get around it, man.
Yeah, and...
It was like Space 9/11.
Yeah, and so Admiral RoboCop was actually... remember?
Yeah.
He was a physical embodiment of the overreaction and the destruction of civil liberties that came across. There's like, you guys, like...
Yeah. No, and that's where it really started to lose me on things. Not even just that movie, but just kind of like that era right there, where everything was some kind of, it was some kind of like reflection upon what we were fucking up as a society. And it's
Time
like,
and place,
you know
yeah.
what? I kind of miss fucking The Last Boy Scout at this point in time.
That's a real hard thing for me to say. Because
I'm really reaching deep back on that one, man. But yeah, it's kind of like, okay, can we just have like one more lethal weapon? You know? So.
if you don't fuck it up, if you don't,
Right, yeah, not the one with the South African guys, you know.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, you know, there was something like that along those lines. But then they did bring some of those back, and they can't fucking help themselves from doing that shit in there again, you know. And it's just like, come on, man.
But dude, I don't.
Can I just get a cool straight up story here anymore?
Well, this is what I, that's why I actually like Train to Busan. Is
Yeah,
just, there is some version of that. Okay, there's a little bit of that, but the whole thing is, yes, but what about these actual characters? What are they going through?
Yeah.
Okay, what's that arc? And do you actually like these people?
Right.
Right? Because where does the worst Star Wars movie of all time fall on this? Well, you take a fucking 35-minute field trip with the two most unlikable characters in the movie to a casino planet where y'all free the horses and not the slaves, and that happened.
That did happen. You free the horses and not the slave. Weren't they 6-legged horses or something?
Something like that.
Something
They
like
have
that,
like
yeah.
weird like
Yeah,
horns,
yeah.
and the dumb girl actually stops and she's like, they're selling arms to both sides. This is a war about profits. We're on a casino planet. There's like, man, like this had to pass.
It's like, yeah. Oh man, he fucked those movies up so bad. And then, you know, well, that one was a one-off, wasn't that? Rian? Yeah. Well, the J.J. Abrams ones were just as fucking bad.
Well, he's just that's a
he's a man-child.
just a different kind of retarded, man. Like, I don't. I'm sorry. Like, there's like two forms of this where it's just like, yeah, he's like that, but he's harmless. And then there's
when
the
he's
guy,
making Transformers movies, yeah, that's true.
well, that's not even him.
Oh, I thought that was
No, he was the dickhead that made those bad Star Trek movies.
Oh yeah, you're right. Got it. Yeah, got it.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing is then you take, and then there's the other kind of this where it's like, yes, he's mentally defective, and I think he might stab me. Like, there's two versions of this where, but either way, you're not getting a good product.
No, you're not getting good product. Yeah.
It's that second one where it bothers you because you're like, this had to pass like 20 sets of eyes.
I know.
And nobody was like, we can't print this.
Yeah, nobody looked at George. Well, it wasn't even George at the time, but just
No,
like back
it was-
in episode 2, where there's like, there might be a little bit too much in the movie, George.
Yeah, but the problem is he's on his like fourth bowl of like Cocoa Krispies. And it's like, too little. What do you mean
Too little.
Too little.
So I can write more. Yeah.
That's the last movie. It's like, no. Okay, so he got 2 lightsabers, then he has 4 lightsabers.
So
And the
her
lightsabers
lightsabers
spinning around like this.
like helicopter blades.
He's driving. It's on 2 wheels. It is 2 wheels. It's a wheel she's driving it. And he's being chased by like this giant lizard.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
It's a giant lizard, right?
giant lizards. Yeah,
And so I'm like,
and this half tiger thing. Yeah,
eventually I'm like, all right, I guess.
Yoda spins around. And
Yeah.
all that stuff. So he just uses the force to fly like an acrobat. You know.
It's so funny that as time goes by, I'm like, that was restrained compared to
Yeah.
the utter train wreck.
Oh, especially that the last one that I saw. Yeah. The one that was tattooing, as long as you scraped off the white parts. Yeah.
Hoth but not snow.
Hoth but not snow. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it
but
was
this
Hoth until you scraped it off, and we had to show you do that just so you know it's not
He
Hoth,
tasted it.
but it's just like Hoth.
He literally tasted it.
Yeah.
It's salt.
Salt.
And how it starts on desert planet that's not Tatooine.
Not Tatooine.
But is it exactly Tatooine?
But with just more junk on it.
But for some reason, that's the desert planet where the Millennium Falcon is parked under a tarp.
Just happens to be there.
It's there.
Yeah. Won it in a bet. Yeah.
This is a galaxy far, far away, but it's this big.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it just never let it go, man.
Yeah. It's fucking like depressed Han Solo. It's like, oh, so why are you doing this again? It's like...
He's like, I don't really know, but I'll take the check. Yeah, and you got to kill me off, please.
He did, but, and then you break down the logic of it. It's like, well, so, like, I started my business, but nobody told me how expensive it was going to be. Like,
that was the lamest story. So you spent the last 20 years being a loser? It was like you were the hero,
Oh, well, and then there's Luke. It's like...
Oh, I don't like people anymore. And I drink this fucking goat's milk that comes from this thing. With green tits. Yeah, it was like, this is disgusting.
I spent 3 movies trying to redeem my most evil father. Then I had a bad dream about Han Solo's son, and I was going to murder him in his sleep.
Right. And so I left. Forever.
Like I had conversations with Dad. Like, he told me straight up, like, no, I think you're cool. And he's like, there is no conflict. And I was like, I didn't believe it. So I kept, like, pressing on it. And then, like, when I chopped off his hand, I, like, looked at it, and I looked at mine, and I threw my lightsaber away. And then fucking, like, lightning shocked my teeth. And my dad...
My dad saved my bacon.
It's like, yeah. But I thought he was evil, so I was going to carve him up in his sleep.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But this is no, it's remember,
so bad, man.
It's his best friend and his sister's son.
Yeah.
That's his nephew.
It's his nephew.
And his best friend's kid. It's like, I think he's evil.
I'm
gonna murder him.
Yeah.
And then, they're like,
I didn't get any of that, man.
Oh, so R2-D2 was so depressed for 20 years he wouldn't even turn on.
That's actually the best written character in the entire thing, man.
Well, it's the only accurate representation of people. Like,
It's like, actually, you know what? I've been pretty depressed for the last 20 years, too, come to think.
But you're a robot!
But you're a robot. So, and you can't speak.
Yeah,
it's so bad, man. So, it's just, So, like, even, what was it, a few weeks ago, I told my brother-in-law I was on a Star Wars strike, and he was kind of asking me why. And so he just articulated, like, all the reasons, and they just come out to, I'm depressed over Star Wars.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of like having, like, beer that you no longer get drunk off of. It just makes you sick. And so I'm not going to drink it anymore, man. So, I just need to stop.
This relationship is toxic.
It's toxic. It's toxic. It's unhealthy, and it needs to end.
Yeah.
And so, my
wife's been beating the crap out of me for 14 years.
Yeah, no, man. Eventually, you just got to stand up for yourself and say, I'm not going to fucking watch your shit.
I'm taking the kids, and I'm moving to New Mexico.
Yeah, you keep the house, I take the car. Off I go. Yeah.
All right, so that was a pretty good bitch session.
That one wasn't too bad. I mean, if we actually started out as a Star Wars bitch session in the beginning, we'd probably be going for another hour or so. But
we can't do that.
We can't do that. So we can't do it. We're at $1.33. So
that's a good place to go.
That's a good place to go.
That's good. Okay.
All right.
Just any last thoughts? Anything you want to say about black on black crime at the Oscars or
no? No, I'm good on black crime at the Oscars.
Anything you'd like to say about the Ukraine?
No, other than the fact that the Russians are probably going to lose. So that's what happens in Axis and Allies when you attack with dudes. And they attack at 1, and then the defenders attack at 2. Defend at 2. You're going to lose, man. So,
Math is against you.
Math is against you.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I don't know. I think anybody with an old Axis and Allies board could have, like, explained that. I don't know.
I don't think Putin's played the game.
I don't think he's played the game either.
I think he's played like a bootleg version of it.
You know, the problem is he attacked with too many tanks and not enough dudes to soak up the hits.
Correct.
So yeah. He's gonna lose.
Yeah, he was overspent.
Yeah.
There you go. That's,
Well, and they got a fighter that's rolling at a 4 every single turn. So
oh my god.
yeah. Ouch.
Yeah.
That bites after a while, man.
There you go, guys. That's that's military analysis from two guys who really know their shit. If anybody tells you something different,
Yeah, guys on Twitter don't play Axis and Allies.
yeah, just stop being friends with them.
Stop being friends. Just stop following them.
Just call them racist and stop being.
Seems to work pretty well for Hollywood.
Hit the button, man. We're not going to do better than that.
We're not gonna do better than that. See ya.